All right. Well, thank you so much for taking time to chat
You
with me
bet.
today.
I'm happy to be here with you.
So I have to geek out for a minute because you have been on so many projects that like literally defined my childhood. I was
Yeah.
looking at like all the movies you've worked on and I'm like, oh my gosh, like The Emperor's New Groove, Beauty and the Beast, and then my absolute favorite, which is The Lion
Yeah.
King.
I,
So
I,
I'm just
I liked working on those two, and they defined my adulthood.
So out of, you've done so much, do you have like a favorite character, one that maybe you'd like to revisit if they ever decided to do another animated movie or
I mean,
a
I think I'll
show?
probably always have an affinity for Pumbaa. I think he's probably the most like me, and it's not because of the flatulence like most people think, like my kids think. Um, I think it's just more that he was my first that I was like a supervising animator of, and I got to do the majority of the scene, really kind of define what his visual performance was. And so I'll always have an affinity for Pumbaa. And then the movie itself going into being this huge blockbuster, that only added to the scope of the emotions of that movie, which was really cool. Yeah, so I'd probably say him. Although I really enjoyed doing Kronk also on Emperor's New
So
Groove.
underrated. I
Yeah.
can't believe when I meet people that haven't watched that movie.
Well, I love working with Patrick so much that I told the director and producer of Red Shoes and the Seven Dwarfs, I said, we got to get Patrick Warburton in this movie because I've worked with him like 5 times now. And so I convinced them to hire him for the Magic Mirror, and they love that. And I think none of us have any regrets because Patrick delivers this like warmth to the character, and he's got that sense of humor. It's great.
Yeah, I loved hearing him in that.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved as the voice director for
Well, I
Red
had a
Shoes?
connection because when I worked at Disney, I worked with a guy named Jen Kam, who was a character designer, and ultimately he left Disney to work for this company in Korea, Locust Animation, made Red Shoes. And I happened to be in Seoul and got together with him for a lunch. He introduced me to the director working with and the producers of Red Shoes, and they showed me the whole project, and I was like blown away because I have an affinity for not only big studio movies like the ones that I've made with Disney, but also smaller independents. I love the scrappy little guys that are out there telling different kinds of stories, and I fell in love with their fun take on this Snow White fairy tale, so much so that I said, if there's anything I could do, just let me know. And they're like, oh, we really need a voice director to work with the American actors. And I said, oh, sign me up. I'd be happy to be that for you guys. So I really enjoyed working on it. And it was off and on over 2 years, but I had so much fun on this.
That's awesome. So you've done so much, again, just the movies, but not just doing animation. I mean, you've directed, you've written, you've voice directing now. Do you have a preference for what you like to do with these movies?
I mean, I really like directing. I like being part of the big picture of creating the movies from start to finish. But I got into this because I love to draw and I love to create characters. And so a big part of me loves just going back to the animation drawing board, the one that I have behind me, and just doing traditional animation. So I am working on Space Jam 2 right now as an animator, just because I've always wanted to animate the Looney Tune characters. And that was like, this has been a dream come true. So I really feel like I'm at a point in my career where I can do a lot of just choose projects that I want to be a part of. And it doesn't always have to mean that I'm the director or writing it or it's my I just love being able to do what I do and have fun within the story.
About Space Jam because that's one that I watched when
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
a kid.
I know your childhood. I was there for you.
So yeah, seriously, like literally everything. All right, so I have a last question. My daughter wants to be an animator, and she's constantly writing stories. I know that you're teaching now, and you have your podcast. Do you have any just like really quick advice for the younger generation trying to get into
Well, there's
doing
a
what you do?
lot of younger generation folks that I've seen. They do a lot of copying, and I try to always let people, students know that it's okay to love anime. It's okay to love Disney or something like that, or a certain artist that you follow on Instagram. But try and be unique. Try and be your own thing and develop your own style. And how you do that is just by practicing, drawing, and your take will start to come out. And our take on something, our style that we develop, is usually based on an amalgamation of things that, yeah, there might be a little Disney in there. There might be a little bit of this artist or that artist that we're influenced by, but it's going to be 100% you at the end of the day. But only if you stop tracing or copying and really try and do things on your own. That's when you develop as an artist.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, and good luck to your daughter too. I hope she does really well, and maybe we'll see her at my school, APU.
I think you might.
Take care, Ashley.
Bye.
Bye now.